Welcome back to NASCAR Race Up. Danielle Trotta, Wally Dallenbach, Drew Blickensturfer, and the man of the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, your three-time Sprint Cup Series champion. You've been waiting. Tony Stewart is joining us now. Mobile One, NASCAR Goes Green, a great initiative, has you on our program. We'll take you any way we can get you, Smoke. But first, I want to address the big question in the room. Suffered the serious back injury January 31st. Give us an update, sir. How are you feeling?
I feel great, to be honest. I mean, I've been doing everything I want to do. I've been at my ranch in Indiana operating heavy equipment. I've been doing everything I want to do aside from being inside of a race car. So, you know, hopefully it'll be sooner than later, but, you know, just still waiting right now.
Tony, I know you're not getting scanned by the doctors every day, but I know physical therapy a part of your life. Give us an update on your progress, and is there a timeline, so to speak, of when we might see you back racing for your last season?
Well, it's all dictated off of what they see in the scan coming up. So, you know, when the scan comes back, the doctor and the surgeon will be able to analyze how much the bones have grown back and what they think is, you know, I don't know what percentage of it has to be grown back, but they'll dictate at what point they think it's safe for me to get back in a race car. And I can promise you, as soon as they give us the green light for that, it's on like Donkey Kong. So, you know, we're going to get back in as quick as we can. I'm chomping at the bit to get back in the car.
Hey, Tony, this is Wally. You know, it's always really difficult watching somebody else drive your race car, but you know, Brian Vickers and Ty Dillon have done a pretty nice job, you know, on this. Give us a little bit of a report card on those two. How do you feel that they've done?
Well, if you take Ty and Brian, and then you throw Mike, my crew chief, in there, the three of them, I think, have done a great job. I mean, you've got a rookie crew chief that didn't start the year with what was planned. I mean, it's hard enough when everything's planned and laid out to start a year as a rookie crew chief, but I think he's done a great job, and with two great drivers. I mean, Brian Vickers brings a lot of stability and a lot of experience into the organization, and you know, I think he's done an awesome job. And then Ty, really, I didn't know what to think about Ty when he got in the car, but he's probably been the biggest surprise so far. I think he's done a phenomenal job.
Hey, Tony, it's Drew Blickensturfer. I wanted to hit on Mike Bugaravich a little bit. You know, you said that, you know, he's had to work with somebody else every single week. Have you been at the racetrack, has that allowed you to see how Mike's calling the race and going through practice? And you think when you're able to get back in the car, you guys hit it a little harder than you would be able to at Daytona if you would have come out new like that?
Yeah, I hope so, and that's really a main reason why the races that I've been on the pit box has just been to interact with him and to listen. And even the races, I've been on the spotter stand, I think 2 or 3 of the races, or 4 races. I've been at the pit box. I've been in different areas watching the track. Last week at Bristol, I was on top of one of the haulers during the race. So, but just listening and communicating with him, hopefully that'll take some of the growing pains out of it. But at the same time, I know if I say something stupid, I already know what the look in the pit is, because I've seen the look on his face when one of the other drivers has said something stupid. So I know the look he's going to be giving the guys when I say something goofy.
Let's talk about some fun stuff. Let's talk about some dirt racing. I know you're spending a lot of time at the dirt tracks. You got some other, you know, programs on the horizon? Are you going to expand your dirt program? Just kind of fill us in a little bit what you got going on there.
I think I'm about as expanded as I could probably be. I'm probably like a hot air balloon expanded. You know, between Eldora Speedway, the All-Star Circuit of Champions that Arctic Cat sponsors, the World of Outlaw team with Donnie Schatz and Bad Boy Buggies, and 4 Cup teams, I've got all I can handle on my plate right now. But it's nice to be bouncing around, and it gives me plenty. I have plenty of things to do when I retire next year that we're already doing. So I'm not going to be looking for more projects. I think we got all we can handle right now.
Tony, I know we don't have an exact date of your return, but maybe possible that you jump in the car at least for a lap or 2 in the next few months and then have a fill-in driver, so at least you're getting the points back. I'm trying to find a way to get you in the race car sooner rather than later.
I love where your mindset is, and I would love for it to work that way. I just don't think it's going to work that way. I mean, I think when they do the scans and at what point they say, okay, whatever the time frame is after the scans that they say we'll be back to be able to get back in it, then it's up to us of whether we feel all right to be in the car. But they're not going to let me get back in the car if they don't think the bones have healed enough to be safe inside the race car. And it's not safe while I'm driving, but if something were to happen, you get in a wreck, you get in an accident, they don't want to jeopardize it, because when you're, if it's an arm or a leg or a hand or foot, that's something you can work around and they can fix that. But when it comes to your spine and especially the vertebrae in your back and your spinal cord, that is an area that you can't jeopardize it, you can't rush it. You've got to do it in the right time frame and give it a chance to heal properly before you get back in a car.
I respect the fact that even if you can't drive, still a spokesman for our sport. I know you've teamed up with one of your great partners, Mobil 1, NASCAR Goes Green, a big initiative. Tell us what you have.
Yeah, and this weekend is the weekend that NASCAR celebrates its Going Green initiative at Richmond, and we're here with Mobil 1 today at a service center, and it's the advanced fuel economy oil that's going into these cars today, and this is kind of a product of what happens with the race program. I mean, everything that we learn with Mobil 1 racing oil and the technology that goes into it is stuff that comes down the pipe and ends up in commercial vehicles and now consumer vehicles down here. So 3 years ago we went and were able to help get Mobil 1 in all the transporters that NASCAR uses for all of its equipment and to get the trucks up and down the road. Last year it was the TV compound and getting all their equipment switched over to Mobil 1, and now it's down to the consumer side and letting people in their passenger cars get this. So it's just kind of a neat fact of when we won the championship in 2011, Mobil 1 was able to calculate how much we saved in fuel mileage because of the oil versus what we had been running, and it was their own oil running before to what we were running at the end of the season, and the margin of victory I think was 0.8 of a second, but what they figured we saved in fuel mileage was 1.1 seconds in performance. So that's a big deal on the oil side, and it's neat to see how it translates from the competitive side all the way down to the consumer side, and now the race fans are getting the same advantage that we have with the race car now.
Great to see the work Mobil 1 is doing, and a reminder to all of us what Going Green can do to help save our planet. Tony, we love having you on the show. Let's make it more often, sir. Thank you so much for coming on, and heal up quickly.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Smoke. He is a fighter, there is no doubt, which tees this up perfectly. A new season of The Ultimate Fighter.